Hey everyone, welcome to my first and introductory video on knots. Today's episode is going to be an introductory video on nomenclature, the different classifications of knots, as well as our first knot, which is going to be the square knot. To begin, I'm going to show you guys my sling rope here. My sling rope is about anywhere from 9 to 15 feet in length. This is going to be something for practicing knots. This is just a mariner's rope. It's kind of just nice to play with. It's a good diameter for practicing knots. It just has good workability. You can get one at Home Depot or basically any hardware store that sells a good diameter rope. You can also find some old climbing rope, but really whatever you guys have, that's what is going to do. The first little bit of nomenclature I'm going to go over is called a bight. A bight is a bend in the line that does not cross itself. That's a bight. Now a loop is a bend in the line that does cross itself. So you can see the line crossing itself here. A half hitch is going to be a bend in the line that's a loop that is over an object. So that's a half hitch. The next one is going to be called the standing end or the static end. I'm just going to tie a quick bow line here. Now the static or the standing end is going to be the part of the line that is already being used by a knot. So let's see, we have an anchor here. So the anchor is fixed. This is going to be the static or the standing end because you can't use it. It's already being used and you're not going to be able to tie any more knots anywhere around here. The running end is going to be everything that's after this, that's free flowing. So this is, we can tie more knots on this. We can use it. That's going to be the running end. Pigtail is going to be the end of the line. It's going to be these little guys right at the end of the line. Pigtails. Let's see. Dressing the knot, setting and dressing. Dressing a knot is looking for proper alignment. So if I tie a little square knot here, then when I dress a knot, I'm looking for proper alignment, making sure that everything is overlapping the way that it needs to. And then when I dress the knot, when I set the knot, I'm looking for proper tension and tightness, making sure that all parts are taut and tight, and that's going to ensure that the knot is tied correctly, doesn't come undone, and so on. So that's setting and dressing. Now the different types or classifications of knots I'm going to cover is going to be end of the line knots. That's going to be knots that are tied at the end of the rope. You also have something like a middle of the line knot, which is something that's going to be tied in the middle of the line. Then you have an anchor, which is something that's going to create a loop at the end of the line that can be used to anchor the line to an object. And then you have specialty knots, which are going to have different uses depending on which knot it is. So the first knot I'm going to cover is going to be the square knot. The square knot is an end of the line knot. It's also a conjoining knot. So it's going to take two lines and connect them together, conjoining knot. To begin, I'm going to take my pigtails, and you always want to make sure that you have enough length to work with to actually tie the knot. So a quick little ditty that they taught us in the Marines was if you can grab the pigtails and then pull it to your elbow, then that is where you're going to grab the both ends and you're going to have enough room to work with. They call that ready rope. So if I ever use it, which I might, then that's what it means. Ready rope, you're going to grab pigtails, get your length, ready to tie the knot. To begin with a square knot, it's going to be a simple left over right, right over left crossover. So we're going to take our first one here, where we're going to take the left side, and we're going to cross it over the right, up and over, and then we're going to reverse this, and we're going to go right over left. Cross it over that side, set and dress. That's a square knot. You can tell it's a square knot because you have the locking bar here, and then the two lines are going to come out. So this line runs under the locking bar, around the other line, comes around, and then comes out the other side. Flip it over, and the other end is doing the exact same thing. Comes around and then under the locking bar. That's a square knot. Now, a square knot is an amazing knot to use, not just because it's easy and simple to tie, but also it's referred to as a high tension, load bearing, releasable knot, which means that if this knot is under a high tension load, then it can still be released and undone. So what you want to do with this knot is you want to make sure that you have a safety knot at the end of each pigtail. Because if it's under tension and it's moving around, then sometimes the pigtails will eventually come undone and the knot will slip. We don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do for a safety is we're going to take the pigtails and we're going to create an overhand knot with each pigtail. So on this side, you can see the locking bar over top. You have the pigtail on the left. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the pigtail, cross over, and pull it through the loop. And we're just going to set and dress, pulling the pigtail, pulling the new locking bar close to the locking bar of the square knot. And there we go. We have the safety right here, square knot right here. Flip it over so the locking bar is on top. Easy way to see it. We're going to take the pigtail on the left, cross it over, and kind of running out of room here, but we're going to get it done. So you always want to make sure that you have enough room in your line to tie the knot you need. So again, set and dress. There we go. Square knot and two safeties. Safeties right here, square knot in the center. To undo this, we're just going to work the pigtail back through. Free that little pigtail. There we go. We have that square knot. Now again, if this was under a high tension, high load, then you can still release it while it's under to free the load. But if this is really tight, maybe it's something like climbing rope or it's a smaller line like you're tying with paracord, then the knot can get really tight. And just a cool little thing to do to release it is you can take both sides, right, grip them, and we're going to pull them together, more like a push, but we're just going to do one of these guys. And there we go, loosens it up. Right, undo that little pretzel, and there we go. That was a square knot. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys again. Come to ready rope. Got the amount I need, and we're going to do the other way around. So I did left over right, right over left. Well, we're going to reverse that ditty, and we're going to do right over left, cross under, pull it through, and left over right. There we go. Set and dress. Make sure that these two ends are next to each other under the locking bars, and make sure that's all tight. And then again, what do we got to do? We got to tie the safeties. So we find that little pigtail, cross it over, right? Pull it up nice and snug and tight up to that square knot locking bar. Make sure that they're right next to each other like that. Looks good. Flip it over. Locking bar. Here's the pigtails. Cross it over itself. There we go. Set and dress it. Nice and close to that square knot. And there we go. That's what it looks like. Square knot and two safeties. Undo the safeties. Okay. That cool little trick I showed you. There we go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's going to be many more. I believe I have something like 25 different types of knots to go over. Again, this is just the introductory video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any feedback or reflections, I'd love to hear about it. I hope you guys enjoyed and found some value to this video. Stay tuned for more.